Think of August 13th not as a mere number on a calendar or a date that slips quietly past like so many others, but as a living, breathing mirror, one the universe itself holds out to you with both gentleness and courage. This is not an ordinary reflection, not the kind you catch fleetingly in a shop window or a polished surface. It is a cosmic reflection, deep and luminous, showing you not only what is visible on the surface, but also what stirs beneath. On this day, the currents of the cosmos seem to gather in a rare alignment, creating a stillness and a clarity that can reveal more about where you stand on your journey than weeks or months of effort might show. The universe, on August 13th, speaks in its own way, without words, without the noise of everyday chatter. It reflects your victories. Yes, the moments of growth and triumph you've already embraced, the wisdom that now lives in your bones. But it also reveals the quiet truths you've been avoiding, the corners of your heart that have been kept in shadow because they felt too delicate, too complicated, or too frightening to face. These are the dreams that have been waiting patiently for you to notice them, the longings you've tucked away, telling yourself their time hasn't yet come. On this day, it is as if the door to that quiet room inside you swings open and sunlight spills in, bright, warm, undeniable. For some, this light will feel like a gentle dawn, coaxing you to stretch, to breathe, to remember yourself. For others, it might feel more like a wave crashing against the shore of your carefully arranged life, stirring the sands you thought had settled for good. And very often, it will be both tender and humbling, soothing and shaking at the same time. That is the beauty of such moments. They come not to harm, but to awaken. There's a profound grace in this kind of reflection. It is the grace of seeing yourself stripped of noise and distraction, a meeting the raw truth of who you are beneath the roles, masks, and performances the world sometimes demands. The you that stands in this mirror is not the version shaped by other people's expectations or defined by the weight of your past. It is the truest essence of your being. On August 13th, the invitation is clear. Look without turning away. See the light that dances in you and the shadows that give your light its depth, and honor them both as necessary parts of your becoming. This is not a call to perfection. The universe has no interest in flawless masks. It is a call to truth, truth that, when embraced, holds the seeds of transformation. Truth does not demand you be ready for everything at once. It asks only that you take the next step, that you choose presence over avoidance, that you allow yourself to be shaped not by fear, but by love and alignment. If you open to it, this day can be the turning of a page, the start of a chapter you've long felt coming but couldn't quite name. Not because a magical wind will sweep away all your problems in an instant, but because your eyes will begin to see with more clarity than before. Confusion that once felt like a heavy fog may begin to lift. The burdens you've been carrying, burdens that are no longer yours to bear, may start to feel lighter, as if they are ready to be set down. And within you, you may sense a steady, irresistible pull toward the place you are truly meant to be on this day. You may finally feel the difference between what is worth holding close in your hands and heart, and what is ready to be released into the flow of life. Some things will be meant to stay with you. Others will need to find their own place in the great current of time, which might be far from where you are going. Releasing does not mean losing. It means allowing what you love to find its most rightful place, trusting that your path will be lighter and freer without the weight of what no longer belongs. There is something almost poetic in how the universe moves in moments like these. It does not bow to the grids and dates on our human-made calendars, nor does it wait for the days we've marked in ink. Yet sometimes, just sometimes, the great tide of cosmic rhythm rises to meet the rhythm of our days in perfect alignment. And when that happens, the air feels different, time feels different, and you can sense the choice standing before you. Will you keep moving as you have been, or will you step bravely, consciously, onto the higher path you know is calling? August 13th, 2025 is one of those rare alignments. Beneath the surface of your daily life, there is a hum, a steady cosmic pulse. On this day, that hum becomes a song, a note so clear it seems meant for you alone. It will not demand you listen, but if you do, it will change you. Before we journey deeper into the heart of this message, I ask you to take a moment to connect more fully. Like this video so that this energy can ripple out to others who may need it. Subscribe to this channel so we can continue walking this path together. And leave the number 777 in the comments. This is not just a number, it is a sacred code, a symbol of divine alignment, and by placing it here, you're setting your intention to receive and anchor this energy within your own life. Now let us walk further into this current together. The way this energy will touch you is deeply personal, shaped by your own story, your own season of life. For some, it will arrive like a whisper, a thought you cannot explain, an inner nudge that feels strangely certain, as if you've just been handed the missing piece of a puzzle you've been working on for years. For others, it may feel like a storm, fierce and undeniable, shaking loose the structures you thought were unshakable. And for a few, it may be like finding an unexpected doorway in a wall you never thought to question, a doorway that opens into a path you didn't know existed but somehow feels like it's been waiting for you all along. The form this energy takes is not the point. What matters is your readiness to notice it, your willingness to trust it. The mind will want to dissect, to analyze, to ask for proof before you take a single step. But the soul knows. And when the universe hands you such a moment, the most powerful response you can give is not hesitation or doubt. It is trust. Trust that the path before you is part of something larger. Trust that the timing is right, even if it doesn't look the way you imagined. Trust that what rises within you on this day is not random. It is the echo of the greater rhythm calling you home. Trust, above all else, that even if the reflection staring back at you feels heavy, uncomfortable, or difficult to face, it is being offered to you with the deepest intention of love. The universe does not show you your shadows to shame you, but to help you understand where the light can enter. Trust that when something familiar begins to loosen its grip and slip from your life, it does not mean you are losing yourself. It means you are making space to meet yourself more fully than ever before. Trust that the stretches of your path where the ground feels uncertain and the road ahead is unclear are often the exact places where the most beautiful alignments take root. These moments of not knowing are often where the threads of destiny are being woven in ways you cannot yet see. And more than anything, trust that you are never walking this path alone. The same invisible current that guides the stars across the sky, that tells the ocean when to rise and when to rest, that orchestrates every beat of your life with perfect timing, that same force is here with you now, guiding you gently but surely through this chapter. As you move through these days, you might notice subtle shifts, little ripples in the still water of your life. Certain conversations might arrive with an unexpected weight, leaving you feeling as though someone has just handed you a key to a door you didn't know you had been trying to open. Other situations might suddenly feel lighter, almost as if they've quietly resolved themselves without you having to push or pull. You may find that something you once felt tangled and now feels clear, or you may feel a quiet but persistent inner nudge to take a step you've been resisting for a long time. None of these are random. These are the signs of the deeper alignment that is working its way into your life, preparing you for the unfolding of your next season. Stepping into this new chapter will not demand that you have all the answers neatly arranged. It will not require you to have the entire map drawn before you take the first step. It will only ask for 3 quiet but powerful things: the openness to truly see what is being revealed, the courage to gently let go of what is keeping you tethered to an old chapter, and the willingness to walk through the doors that swing open before you. On August 13th, the universe will meet you in the middle, but the choice to step forward will always be yours. And if you do take that step, you may one day look back on this moment and realize it was one of those rare, crystalline points in time when the entire trajectory of your story shifted. The kind of day you remember not for the details of what you did, but for the way it felt, like you'd been waiting your whole life to exhale. Most days in our lives slip past quietly, folding themselves into the gentle, unremarkable rhythm of time, like small and scattered pebbles along an endless shore. We turn the pages of our calendars, the days tumble forward, and nothing particularly memorable calls our attention. But every so often, there are days that hum with a different vibration. Days that seem to pulse faintly beneath the skin of reality, as though an unseen hand had circled them on the great calendar of your life long before you even took your first breath. They do not just arrive, they arrive looking back at you, as if they already know the role they will play in your story. They carry an energy you can feel without reason, like the way the air seems charged before a storm, or the quiet whisper in your mind that says, "Pay attention, this matters." August 13th, 2025 is one of those days. At first glance, it will appear ordinary. It's a Wednesday. The sun will rise as it always does. You will open your eyes, stretch, perhaps make yourself tea or coffee, glance at the messages waiting on your phone, and listen to the familiar background hum of life. Maybe the traffic will crawl past your window. Maybe your to-do list will wait impatiently for you to begin. On the surface, it will be a day like any other. And yet, just beneath that familiar routine, there will be a softness in the air, a quiet shift that is almost imperceptible. You might notice it in the way the light spills through your curtains, warmer and more golden than usual, or in the way your thoughts wander to memories and dreams you haven't touched in years. Time might feel as though it is not pushing you forward, but holding you still, as if inviting you to notice something important. The magic of this day is not found in just one place, not in astrology alone, not in numerology alone, and not even in symbolic meaning alone, but in the weaving together of many cycles at once. Your own personal cycle of growth and change, the larger planetary movements above, and the deep spiritual undercurrents that have been moving beneath your life all meet here, converging in a moment that feels like a lighthouse beam sweeping across a dark ocean. It is the meeting point between what you have consciously chosen and what you have been unconsciously guided toward. And for those who have been feeling like life has been quietly holding its breath, waiting for the right moment to release, this may be the day the exhale finally comes. If you have been standing on the threshold of change, sensing that something new is just beyond the horizon but not yet visible, this could be the day where the invisible begins to take shape. It is not the kind of shift you can force. It is the kind you feel, the kind that moves through you like the first winds of a season turning. You may not know exactly where it will lead, but something deep within will recognize it as the signal you have been waiting for. And so, when August 13th arrives, you may find yourself looking back on it in the years ahead, realizing that this was the day when a quiet turning point came into your life, not loud or dramatic, but powerful in the way only truth can be. It will be the kind of moment that reminds you that the universe works in ways both vast and intimate, aligning not just the stars in the heavens, but the small, tender details of your human heart. A team may not announce itself with fanfare. There might be no fireworks, no dramatic music swelling in the background. In fact, it could arrive so quietly that you almost miss it at first, like a soft breeze brushing past you on an ordinary afternoon. Perhaps it will be a sudden clarity that finds you while you are simply washing your hands, or an unexpected phone call that shifts something deep in your heart. It could be a conversation that seems casual on the surface but carries the power to rearrange the way you see the world. And yet, no matter how subtly it appears, when it comes, you will feel it, that unmistakable click, like pieces of a puzzle you've been carrying separately for years finally sliding perfectly into place. The true magic of this day lies not only in the events that might unfold, but in its deeper vibration, the energetic signature that has been quietly building in the background. To understand it, we can turn to the wisdom of numerology, where numbers are not mere measurements but living symbols carrying ancient meaning. August 13th is not just a random date. It is a meeting of two powerful frequencies, each with its own story to tell. The number 13 has long been surrounded by misunderstanding. In some parts of the world, it has been painted as unlucky, something to be avoided or feared. Yet, in many ancient spiritual traditions, it holds the exact opposite meaning, one of power, renewal, and sacred transition. 13 speaks of rebirth, of cycles completing so that new cycles may begin. It is the number of the harvest, a moment when what has been growing reaches its fullness, and what has served its purpose gently falls away, leaving fertile soil ready for something new. This is not an ending in the way we often think of endings. It is the deep breath after a storm, when the air feels cleaner, sharper, alive with possibility. It is the softness of the ground after the rain, ready to receive seeds that will one day grow into something beautiful. And then there is the month, August, the 8th month of the year. In numerology, the number 8 carries the vibration of abundance, balance, and karmic return. Its shape, the infinity loop, reminds us that life is not linear but cyclical. That what we send out will always return to us in some form. Every action, every thought, every choice is a ripple moving outward, weaving patterns in our future long before we can see them. The energy of 8 teaches responsibility for the energy we create, but it also offers reassurance. If you have been sowing good seeds, the time will come when they push through the soil, strong and ready to grow. When 13 and 8 meet, as they do on August 13, 2025, the message is not about loss, it is about passage. It is the moment when you step across an unseen threshold and realize you are no longer where you once were. This energy whispers of an ending that is really a beginning in disguise, a reminder that closure can come not with sorrow, but with relief and even joy. It is the quiet satisfaction of recognizing you have outgrown an old version of yourself. This is the kind of moment that can feel like lightning splitting the darkness, sudden, clear, undeniable. Something that has been tangled for months, or perhaps even years, could finally loosen its grip and fall away, revealing the path beneath your feet with a clarity you didn't expect. There is also a profound sense of karmic balance in this day's vibration, not in the simplistic sense of reward or punishment, but in the deeper truth that the universe always seeks harmony. If you have been carrying a weight that was never yours to bear, this could be the day it is finally lifted. If you have been living with integrity, kindness, and patience, you might begin to see the first signs of those efforts coming back to you, just as seeds return as harvest. The universe, in its quiet wisdom, pauses for a moment to look at all you have endured, all you have given, all you have grown through. and it says enough. It is time for renewal. Yet the magic of August 13th is not only in what shifts around you. Its true power is in the transformations that can unfold within you. Life is filled with moments where, without even realizing it, you cross into a new version of yourself. The hurts that once defined you no longer hold you hostage. The fears that used to keep you frozen now whisper instead of roar. The dreams that once seemed impossibly distant suddenly feel like they are within reach. You may look in the mirror on this day and see yourself differently, not as someone waiting for life to finally open its doors, but as someone who has been quietly, perhaps unknowingly, preparing for this exact moment. It is essential to remember that the energy of a day like this is an invitation, not a demand. The universe may open the door, but only you can decide to step through it. That choice might mean letting go of an old story you've told yourself for too long, forgiving someone who hurt you, forgiving yourself for the times you stumbled, or saying yes to an opportunity that scares you, because deep down you know it will change you. It could mean simply allowing yourself to believe, without hesitation, that you are ready for the life you have been imagining. This is a day to listen closely to your intuition, because the messages will come through more clearly than usual, in a feeling, a dream, a sudden knowing that cannot be explained but also cannot be denied. Sometimes the greatest transformations are not loud. They happen in the space of a single breath, in the choice to take one step in a different direction, in the quiet realization that you are free to choose a new way forward. August 13th carries this quiet power, the kind that can change not just the path you walk, but the way you walk it. You may find yourself standing in the same world but seeing it through new eyes, lighter, freer, more open to the possibilities that were always there, waiting for you to notice. And perhaps that is the most beautiful gift of this day, the reminder that change doesn't always arrive with noise and spectacle. Sometimes it comes like a whisper, a gentle turning of the page, the subtle but profound moment when you realize that your story has entered a new chapter, one you've been ready for all along. And perhaps the most intriguing mystery woven into the heart of August 13, 2025, is that you might not fully grasp its significance while you are living it. In the moment, it could pass like any other day, a Wednesday with familiar rhythms, ordinary tasks, and a usual hum of life. Yet hidden beneath its surface, threads of transformation may already be weaving themselves through your story. You may only recognize its true meaning when you look back months or even years later, tracing the quiet turning of events to this exact point in time, realizing that something within you or around you began to shift here. What seemed unremarkable at first will reveal itself as the seed of change, the starting point that set an entirely new current in motion. The beauty of this day is that its magic does not always announce itself with grand gestures or blazing signs. Often, it works in subtler, more intimate ways, like a whisper in the stillness, like a truth that slips into your awareness when you are least expecting it. While the way this day will touch you depends on the unique map of your own birth chart, the collective current flowing through August 13th holds a distinct and undeniable force. The mid-August skies will be alive with planetary alignments that act almost like a cosmic mirror, reflecting back to you the truths you've been unwilling or unable to see, illuminating the places where clarity has long been needed. These alignments have a way of parting the fog, of loosening the knots in your mind, and of allowing the soft but persistent voice of your intuition to rise above the noise. What was murky begins to take shape. What felt tangled starts to loosen. It is a period where illusions can shatter like fragile glass, where half-truths lose their grip, and where your own inner knowing becomes not only louder, but impossible to dismiss. The energy of this date does not linger at the surface of life. It dives into the depths. It reaches the very core of who you are, stirring the layers where your most honest truths reside. This is a time of revelation, of stripping away pretense, of confronting what is real and what no longer belongs in your life. For some, the light of this day may fall most directly on relationships, revealing which ones lift and nourish your spirit, and which ones quietly drain your vitality without you even noticing. For others, it may focus on inner landscapes, bringing awareness to long-neglected dreams, forgotten passions, or beliefs you've outgrown. There is an insistence in this cosmic current, a gentle yet unyielding nudge pushing you toward alignment with your truest self. Sometimes that means loosening your grip on something or someone you've clung to out of habit, comfort, or fear. It can feel bittersweet, like the closing of a chapter you thought you would live in forever. Yet somewhere deep inside, you know that the page must turn for the story to keep unfolding. This is why August 13th can feel like both a blessing and a test. The blessing lies in the light it pours into the shadows, revealing the path forward with greater clarity than you've had in a long time. The test lies in your willingness to honor what you see. Will you accept the truth and step into the changes it demands, or will you retreat into what is familiar simply because it is easier? The universe does not present such moments to punish or unsettle you. It is clearing the way, sweeping aside what is stagnant, outdated, or blocking you from living the life you are meant to live. And yet, the power of this day is not just in the stars or their distant alignments. It is in the meeting point between those celestial movements and the private, tender space of your inner world. It is in the way those energies press against your emotions, stir your thoughts, and awaken your deepest longings. If you have been walking through a season of uncertainty, carrying more questions than answers, this is the kind of day when insight can arrive, sometimes all at once, sometimes in small and almost unnoticeable ways. It may come as a sudden and unfiltered truth spoken in the middle of a conversation, revealing something you needed to know even if it shakes you. It might rise up as a quiet but unwavering surge of courage, nudging you toward the decision you have postponed for too long, encouraging you to send that message, to take that leap, to claim the opportunity that's been waiting for you. Or it may slip into your life through the language of synchronicity, a song playing at precisely the right moment, a number you keep seeing that carries a meaning only you understand, a symbol appearing in your path, so precisely timed that it feels like a private message from the universe itself. These moments often feel strangely intimate, as though the fabric of reality has been gently bent so that something greater can reach you more directly. On this day, you may feel as though you are in quiet conversation with the divine, an exchange not made of words alone, but of signs, feelings, and an unshakable sense of being guided. The veil between your everyday mind and that deeper wisdom may feel thinner, allowing you to sense the quiet pull of destiny with more clarity. If you are willing to slow down, to stay present, to listen, you may find that the guidance you've been searching for has been here all along, circling you, waiting for you to be ready. And perhaps that is the true gift of August 13th, not to push or force change, but to open your hands and heart wide enough to receive it. The answers will come in their own time, carried on the rhythm of the universe, arriving exactly when you are ready to live them. So, what is the real essence of August 13, 2025? It's not that the date itself has been marked in some ancient prophecy, or that it carries an otherworldly vibration simply because of the numbers on the calendar. The truth is far more personal, far more subtle, and yet infinitely more powerful. The magic of this day does not lie in the date as an object, but in the alignment it represents. The rare moment when the rhythm of your own soul finds itself moving in perfect harmony with the grand, unseen flow of the universe. Imagine your life as a vast, winding river. This river has carried you through gentle stretches where the water was calm and the journey felt light, through fierce storms that threatened to overturn your vessel, and through long, stagnant places where the scenery hardly changed, and it seemed as though you weren't moving at all. Most days you keep paddling, sometimes against the current, straining and sweating for every inch forward, sometimes letting the water carry you without resistance. But then there are rare, extraordinary moments when the current changes, when it suddenly strengthens, deepens, and sweeps you forward with a force that feels almost otherworldly. You are no longer fighting to move ahead. You are no longer obsessing over the map or worrying if you'll get there in time. You're simply carried, not by chance, but toward a destination you've been moving toward for far longer than you realized. That is the true heartbeat of August 13, 2025. This day is not about fate dropping a miracle into your lap with a flash of lightning from the heavens. It is about the moment the flow changes, when the forces within you and around you click into place. It is about a synchronizing, a deep resonance between your current state and the place your spirit has been quietly leading you all along. On this day, events may unfold in such a way that they feel strangely inevitable, as though the road ahead had been under construction for years while you were busy elsewhere, healing old wounds, learning difficult lessons, and simply showing up for life. People might appear who feel like missing pieces to a puzzle you've been working on for decades. Opportunities might arise with a timing so uncanny that it makes you pause. Conversations may occur that shift the way you see everything. It's not magic in the sense of bending the laws of nature. It's magic in the sense of all the threads finally weaving together into a single, undeniable pattern. Yet here's the part that most overlook. This alignment will not necessarily come wrapped in comfort. In fact, it may feel at first like the exact opposite. Real alignment is not just about receiving what you've been dreaming of. It's also about becoming the person capable of living that dream without crumbling under its weight. And growth, in its purest form, rarely feels gentle. August 13th, 2025, may bring you challenges, not as cruel tests, not as random misfortunes, but as intentional preparations. You may find yourself faced with situations that demand you rise above old habits, moments that push you to enforce boundaries you've avoided setting, or choices that require a level of courage and honesty you didn't think you could muster. Because here's the truth. Wanting something and being ready to hold it are two very different states of being. It is one thing to daydream about the life, love, abundance, or freedom you desire. It is another thing entirely to carry that reality in your hands without fear, without self-sabotage, and without losing yourself in the process. Readiness is not proven when the dream finally arrives. It's proven in the quiet, seemingly ordinary moments that come before, the ones where you choose patience over reaction, faith over doubt, and truth over convenience. On August 13th, you may find that the universe hands you exactly those moments. And if you lean into them, if you embrace the discomfort as a sign of stretching into a new chapter, you will realize that this day is less about a sudden miracle and more about the culmination of every quiet, unseen choice that brought you here. It is the moment when your inner current and the greater current of life merge, carrying you forward into the version of yourself that has been waiting patiently to be lived into. If you truly wish to draw the fullest essence from August 13th, 2025, the key will be awareness. Not the kind of casual attention you give when passing through your day on autopilot, but a deep, alive, deliberate presence that allows you to notice the hidden threads weaving through your experience. Imagine yourself walking into this day as though you were stepping into a sacred space where every glance, every word spoken, every unexpected twist of events is not random, but part of a living dialogue between you and the universe itself. The air will seem charged with meaning, and if you're tuned in, you might notice emotions rising closer to the surface than usual. Your senses may feel heightened, making you more aware of synchronicities, those small, perfectly timed patterns, signs, symbols, or repeating numbers that carry a feeling of precision too exact to be dismissed as mere coincidence. On this day, the smallest details may carry the largest truths. Notice who enters your world and who drifts away from it. Observe the conversations that arise without you having to force them, the ones that seem to arrive as if placed gently in your path. Pay attention to the thoughts that revisit you again and again, like a whisper echoing from a place just beyond the edges of reason. These moments and impressions are not distractions. They are guideposts, subtle indicators pointing you toward the next turn in your journey. You may feel an undeniable pull to finally close a chapter you have been carrying for far too long. This could take many forms. Perhaps a relationship that no longer feeds your spirit, a habit that keeps you small and tethered to an old version of yourself, or a belief that undermines your courage and confidence without you fully realizing it. If this sense of release stirs within you, trust it. There is no need to overanalyze, justify, or wrestle with it. Sometimes the act of letting go is not a loss at all, but a sacred gesture that creates the exact space life needs to bring you into your next season. And when something does fall away, whether a person, an opportunity, or a familiar comfort, resist the temptation to label it as loss. Instead, see it as a divine rearrangement. The universe rarely takes without also preparing to give. The empty space is not a void. It is fertile ground, a container where something new can take root. That something may be a deeper joy, a love that meets you in ways you never thought possible, a purpose that lights you up from the inside, or a chapter of life you could not have planned for but were always meant to experience. Equally important is to remain alert to those moments that quicken your heartbeat in an almost unexplainable way. These flashes of excitement or recognition are not random. They are invitations. If an opportunity appears, one that stirs a deep, wordless knowing in your gut, lean toward it. Move in its direction, even if fear rises up to meet you. In fact, if it does scare you, that is often a sign you are standing on the edge of something transformative, a threshold between the familiar and the extraordinary. Fear can be a compass pointing toward exactly the places where your greatest growth and freedom reside. Above all else, keep your heart open. The real magic of August 13, 2025, is that it may deliver exactly what your soul has been craving, though it may arrive in a form you did not expect. Sometimes the gift is wrapped in the disguise of a challenge, and sometimes what feels like a challenge is quietly carrying the gift. Your work is not to control the form it takes, but to remain open enough to receive it when it comes. You may not fully grasp the importance of this day while you're living it. It might pass like any other day on the calendar, blending into the flow of your life without fireworks or dramatic signs. But later, perhaps weeks, months, or even years from now, you may look back and realize that something shifted here. It was the day you stepped into a deeper current, the day the river of your life began carrying you with more certainty and speed toward the place you were always meant to arrive. When August 13th comes, meet it not with expectation, but with curiosity. Let your awareness be soft yet steady. Be present to what unfolds without needing to grasp or control it. Trust the unseen rhythms moving beneath the surface, the ones that know far better than your mind where you are going. The river knows its course, and on this day, It will be guiding you more directly than ever toward the life that has been quietly waiting for you to step into it.